Welcome, Sigmas. Were you aware that a fascinating discovery was made by researchers at the University of Rochester? They discovered that emotionally disconnected guys are inherently attractive to women. Strange, doesn't it? This is the exact reason why women appear to develop an addiction to Sigma males, the lone wolves of the social order. To be clear, however, this is more than just acting or being difficult to get. No, the goal is to access a primitive psychological mechanism that is hidden deep within the female psyche. Easy things aren't what women seek. They are drawn to things that are uncommon, enigmatic, and, above all, seem just out of their grasp. That's exactly what the Sigma male embodies, and then some. We're revealing how Sigma guys arouse these strong instincts, making women virtually scream for their attention as we peel back the layers today. However, this isn't your typical just ignore her tactic. We're delving much deeper into the evolutionary biology, the secret science, and the subconscious signals that make a Sigma's presence so alluring. The worst part is that we won't only tell you what Sigma men do. We will dissect it, functions. Why does her curiosity become an addiction when things are unpredictable? Why is her calm, grounded demeanor more captivating than words? Why does her desire get stoked by her quiet confidence? Why does she find herself thinking about him more than ever, even after he leaves? So if you're ready to become the kind of man who doesn't chase but gets chased, listen up. Because the first secret to making her crave your attention is going to change the way you see everything. Let's dive in. Point 1. Silent confidence. You ever notice how the loudest guy isn't always the most attractive? That's because true confidence doesn't need volume. This simple truth carries a weight that resonates with the Sigma male archetype. Picture a crowded bar. Voices competing, laughter piercing the air, yet it's the man who's quiet, grounded, and self-assured who captures the subtle attention of those around him. This is the Sigma vibe in action. A Sigma doesn't feel compelled to shout above the noise. Instead, he listens. He absorbs the energy of the room, calculating the dynamics, reading the unspoken cues. And when he does speak, it's with purpose and a calm, confident tone that commands more respect than any loud boast ever could. Studies in social psychology show that people who use a lower, more relaxed tone are perceived as more trustworthy and competent. This is part of the Sigma's toolkit. No need to prove anything because his actions and presence speak for themselves. Own your silence. It's your superpower. In a world that often confuses noise with power, the Sigma knows that true strength lies in composure. He doesn't need to interrupt or dominate conversations. Instead, he uses carefully chosen words and a steady, grounded presence to leave a lasting impression. Women, in particular, are attuned to this. Research suggests that nonverbal cues, like body language, eye contact, and posture, can be more impactful than spoken words when it comes to attraction. The Sigma's calm head and warm smile do more to spark curiosity and desire than any pickup line. This quiet strength has an evolutionary basis as well. Anthropologists note that in tribal societies, the most respected individuals were often those who observed first and acted wisely later. This natural inclination to observe and understand rather than rush in still holds sway today. The Sigma male channels this ancient wisdom. He knows when to speak and, more importantly, when to stay silent. So let the loud guys battle for the spotlight. As a Sigma, you're playing a deeper game. No yelling across the bar, just cool head, warm smile. You're not trying to win the crowd, you're letting the crowd come to you. It's not about being invisible, but about being impactful without noise. That's the essence of the Sigma way. It's magnetic, it's mysterious, and most of all, it's real. Point 2, mystery and unpredictability. Why does she keep texting? Because you didn't say it all in text number 1. That's the art of layered communication, a Sigma male trait that makes women lean in, always wanting more. You see, Sigma men keep it layered, never fully revealing, always intriguing. It's the opposite of oversharing. In fact, psychologists say that mystery activates the brain's curiosity center, the mesolimbic dopamine system. It's that little spark that says, I want to figure him out. Being layered is like a book with more chapters than she first expected. You're never just one thing. One day you're diving into philosophy, the next you're mastering an obscure hobby. This unpredictability is magnetic. It's why last-minute trips, sudden skill reveals, and quirky interests leave her wondering what's next. Studies show that novelty and surprise release dopamine in the brain, creating a natural high. So when you reveal a random skill or a hidden passion, you're not just sharing facts, you're creating an emotional experience. Here's where it gets interesting. When you leave things unsaid in that first text, like a cryptic comment or an open-ended question, you're not ignoring her, you're inviting her to play in the space between the lines. That's how the dance begins. Instead of bombarding her with information, you're giving her a reason to dig deeper. And guess what? Research shows that the more a person invests in trying to figure you out, the more invested they become emotionally. But there's a flip side. If you're too mysterious, she might feel like she's dating a locked vault. The trick is to balance intrigue with authenticity. Show glimpses of your real self, but leave room for wonder. A Sigma doesn't give away the whole story, but he also doesn't play games. He just knows the value of not spelling out every detail. So why does she keep texting? Because you're giving her something she can't quite pin down, something worth discovering. You're not just a profile picture or a string of texts. You're a puzzle she's excited to solve, one message at a time. Point 3, emotional autonomy. Sigmas don't rely on external validation, they feel complete alone. This mindset is rooted in psychological theories like self-determination theory, which suggests that true satisfaction comes from within, not from external sources. When a Sigma male doesn't need a woman for validation or approval, it's not because he's cold or distant, it's because he's mastered self-reliance and self-worth. You don't need her like she needs air, so she wants to be around you. This line isn't just poetic, it's factual. Studies in attraction reveal that independence and non-neediness are inherently appealing. When you're not desperate for someone's attention, you exude a calm, confident energy that draws people in. It's the classic playing hard to get dynamic, except it's not a game for Sigmas, it's their authentic state of being. Sounds cold? Nah, it's freedom. Sigmas know that needing someone for your own happiness can turn love into an unhealthy attachment. They understand that real freedom comes from being secure in who you are, not from clinging to someone else's presence. This isn't about rejecting others or avoiding relationships. It's about bringing a complete self to the table, so any connection is built on mutual respect, not desperation. Self-respect isn't pride, it's magnetic. Let's break this down. Pride is about ego and showing off. Self-respect is about knowing your worth without needing to prove it. This subtle difference makes Sigmas irresistible. They don't boast or brag, they simply live by their values. Women find this kind of confidence intriguing because it's rare in a world driven by social media and shallow validation. The bottom line is that Sigmas understand a fundamental truth. Attraction is a byproduct of self-possession. They don't try to impress or chase validation. They create their own meaning and happiness, and others are drawn to that energy. Their independence challenges the modern narrative that you're incomplete without someone else. It's not about arrogance, it's about living a life that's true to who they are. In relationships, this self-reliance means Sigmas are partners by choice, not by need. They share their time and energy generously, but they never compromise their core self. It's a powerful mindset that's not just magnetic, it's freeing. Point 4. Purpose-driven life. Passionate pursuit of goals isn't just an inspiring idea, it's a game changer that can skyrocket your appeal to others. Imagine a woman meeting a guy who's living in Bali, immersed in building his startup. His eyes sparkle with ambition, his energy is contagious. And his conversations are filled with stories of innovation, resilience, and risk-taking. Instantly, he becomes more intriguing than the average person stuck in the mundane routine. Why? Because passion is magnetic. When you're chasing your dream, whether it's starting a business, writing a novel, or traveling the world, you're broadcasting a clear message. I'm alive, I'm driven, I'm not settling for a life of mediocrity. This mindset resonates deeply because humans are naturally drawn to people with purpose. Research from the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships highlights that ambition and goal pursuit in a partner are consistently ranked as highly attractive qualities. Why? Because they signal determination, resourcefulness, and a zest for life. But it's not just about the end goal, it's about the journey. When you're in the zone, passionately immersed in something that lights you up, you radiate a special kind of energy. You're focused, confident, and authentic. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're simply pursuing what you love, and that authenticity draws people in. This concept is echoed in the idea of flow, coined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Flow occurs when you're completely engaged in what you're doing. Time fades and you feel an intense satisfaction. People in flow states become more charismatic and appealing because they're living fully in the moment. So what's the lesson? You chase your dream and attraction will chase you. Instead of obsessing over impressing someone, focus on fueling your own passions. Whether it's launching your brand, mastering a craft, or exploring the world, these pursuits add depth to your personality and make you a beacon for like-minded people. Don't underestimate the power of wild ambition. It's not just about success, it's about creating a life that excites you. And when you're truly excited about your life, others will be too. Point 5. Non-possessive, respectful detachment. Detachment equals sign confidence, and when you're a Sigma male, you don't need to chase or cling. You know that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, not constant pursuit or desperate attention. So let's unpack this for a moment. When you offer someone space instead of smothering them, you're not just playing it cool. You're showing that you respect their independence and your own self-worth. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how people who are overly clingy often end up pushing others away? That's because nobody wants to feel like they're someone's entire world or emotional life raft. Sigma males understand this instinctively. They know that real confidence doesn't come from frantic calls or 3 a.m. texts. It comes from knowing that if someone is meant to be in your life, they'll find their way back on their own. When you don't play the jealous card and instead play the respect card, you're essentially saying, I trust you to be yourself and I don't need to control your every move. This attitude is not only refreshing, but also highly attractive. Studies in psychology have shown that people are naturally more drawn to partners who exhibit high self-esteem and self-reliance. In other words, confidence breeds attraction. Sigma males are the masters of this. They don't waste time worrying about every little interaction or what someone else is doing when they're not around. They're focused on their own growth goals and passions, and ironically, this makes them more magnetic. It's the classic don't chase, replace energy. If you're so caught up in someone else's drama or emotional roller coaster, you're not fully present for your own journey. Here's the kicker. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're not obsessed. You're present, but you're not possessive. You care, but you're not controlling. You're engaged, but you're not desperate. That's the subtle but powerful difference that sets a Sigma male apart from the crowd. So next time you're tempted to send that late-night barrage of messages or to let jealousy get the best of you, remember, confidence is quiet and respect is loud. Show up, hold your space, and let the rest fall into place. Point 6. Selective vulnerability. Sigma males are often known for their calm, controlled, and sometimes seemingly cold exterior. They navigate life with an aura of independence and emotional self-sufficiency that can be both mysterious and intimidating. But here's the fascinating truth. This ice-cold exterior isn't a permanent fixture. When a Sigma chooses to open up, something rare and powerful happens. In those deep intentional moments, his carefully guarded walls melt away, revealing a profoundly human side that's both unexpected and irresistibly magnetic. Why is this so captivating? Because vulnerability is not the weakness many assume it to be. In fact, it's a form of emotional courage and strength. Psychologists and relationship experts have long emphasized that vulnerability is the currency of genuine connection. Brené Brown, a renowned researcher on vulnerability and shame, describes it as the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. When a Sigma male allows himself to be vulnerable, even in the smallest way, it sends a powerful signal. I trust you enough to show you who I really am. This trust creates an instant human connection that can be electrifying. Imagine the usual reserved Sigma, who rarely lets anyone get too close, suddenly sharing a genuine glance, a quiet confession, or a moment of unguarded emotion. It breaks the ice, inviting others in and transforming the interaction into something authentic and meaningful. Scientifically speaking, vulnerability triggers oxytocin release, often called the bonding hormone. Oxytocin promotes feelings of trust, empathy, and social bonding. So when a Sigma male drops his guard, the people around him feel more connected and valued, which strengthens relationships on a deep neurological level. Moreover, vulnerability fosters resilience. It's a paradox. Showing your true self, imperfections and all, actually builds inner strength and helps you bounce back from challenges. Sigma males, known for their resilience and self-reliance, understand this deeply, even if it's only shared with a select few. In a world that often prizes toughness and stoicism, a Sigma's willingness to be vulnerable is a rare gift. It reminds us all that beneath every composed exterior lies a complex, relatable human being yearning for connection. When that moment happens, it's unforgettable, not just for the Sigma, but for everyone fortunate enough to witness it. Point 7. Boundary mastery. Sigma males are known for one key trait above many others. They set clear lines and boundaries, and they don't tolerate disrespect. This is not just about being stubborn or rigid. It's about self-respect, self-awareness, and confidence that speaks louder than words. Imagine this scenario. A woman says, "Stay out late tonight?" A Sigma male's response is straightforward and firm, "Not tonight." No hesitation, no need to explain or justify. Why? Because he knows his limits and priorities, and he respects himself enough to enforce them. Setting boundaries is not just a social skill, it's a psychological necessity for healthy relationships and personal well-being. Psychologists define boundaries as limits we set to protect our mental, emotional, and physical space. When someone disregards your boundaries, it can lead to stress, anxiety, and resentment. The Sigma male understands this deeply and acts accordingly. But here's what makes the Sigma's boundary setting so powerful. It's not about controlling others or being rude, it's about signaling that you value yourself. This kind of self-respect naturally commands respect from others. People instinctively follow those who clearly respect themselves. In fact, research shows that individuals with strong personal boundaries often experience better social interactions and healthier relationships because they communicate their needs clearly and confidently. For a Sigma male, boundaries are an ultimate confidence flex. Think about it, it takes genuine self-assurance to say no without fear of rejection or conflict. Many people struggle to set boundaries because they worry about upsetting others or losing approval. The Sigma male, however, understands that true respect comes from authenticity, not from bending to fit someone else's expectations. Living by your boundaries also prevents burnout and keeps you aligned with your goals. When you say "not tonight" to a late-night hangout, you might be choosing rest, focus, or something more meaningful. This kind of deliberate choice is a hallmark of Sigma independence. He doesn't live by the crowd's rules, but by his own well-defined code. In summary, Sigma males don't just set boundaries, they live by them. This practice reflects a deep sense of self-worth and self-discipline, which naturally earns respect and admiration from others. If you want to boost your confidence and social presence, start by defining your own lines and standing firm on them. Remember, boundaries aren't barriers, they're bridges to healthier, more authentic relationships and a more empowered life. The Sigma male's power lies in mastering 7 core traits that shape his magnetic presence: silent confidence, mystery, autonomy, purpose, detachment, vulnerability, and boundaries. Silent confidence isn't about bragging. It's the quiet assurance that you don't need validation to know your worth. Mystery keeps others intrigued because you don't reveal everything at once. You let your actions speak louder than words. Autonomy means you're self-reliant and don't depend on others for your happiness or direction. Purpose drives you forward with clear goals, making your life meaningful and inspiring. Detachment allows you to remain calm and composed, unaffected by chaos or drama, giving you emotional strength. Vulnerability is the courage to be real and authentic, breaking the typical macho mold and creating deep connections. Boundaries protect your energy, ensuring respect and balance in relationships. Living by these traits means ditching the exhausting attention chase and building your own world. When you embody these qualities, women don't have to beg, they choose you. That's true attraction, magnetic, natural, and unforced. Transform your demeanor, embrace your inner Sigma. Sigmas, if this lit a spark in you, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join the tribe. I've got more deep dives coming your way. Until next time, stay true and stay Sigma.